I'm Daniza Lopez, bringing you today's burning issues and the hottest news here on Newsforce.
Here are today's headlines. DOH reports leptospirosis cases spiked by 42%. SWS shows hunger rate in the Philippines rises. DTI reminds public on price freeze of essential goods during calamities and warns sellers to avoid overpricing. Agricultural damage of Typhoon Egay rise to 4.47 billion pesos. UN-FAO Philippines issues warning against scammers using their agency for fraudulent schemes. Philippine government warns public against waterborne diseases in Ilocos Region. Fair and balanced news. Comprehensive reports that will take you to the heart of the action. This is Newsforce.
For today's top story, the Department of Health or DOH reported a surge in leptospirosis cases that increased to 42%. The DOH recorded 182 new cases with the chance to rise due to late reports. The total number of leptospirosis cases has reached 2,079, where authorities are closely monitoring the situation and remind the public to prevent drinking contaminated water and avoid floodwaters. In June 2023, a recent survey by the Social Weather Stations or SWS revealed an increase in the number of Filipinos suffering from hunger, with Metro Manila having the highest number. SWS shows 10.4% of Filipino families had gone without food at least once in the last 3 months. It was also found that 45% of Filipino families labeled themselves as poor, while 22% of respondents consider themselves as not poor. Meantime, a recent announcement from the Department of Education or DepEd stated that the official start of the school year 2023 to 2024 in every public school will occur on August 29. According to the DepEd, in accordance with Republic Act 11480, private schools may choose to begin classes on the first Monday in June this year, but no later than the last school day of August. The DepEd Assistant Secretary for Field Operations, Francis Cesar Bringas, stated that while data on the precise enrollment numbers for the upcoming school year are still being collected, certain students in specific grade levels have already pre-registered. The Department of Budget and Management or DBM reported a 120 million pesos increase in the Confidential Intelligence Funds or CIF for the 5.768 trillion pesos National Expenditure Program for 2024. Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman assured that the 9.2 billion pesos 2024 CIF would be covered by circulars and appropriately accounted for. Of the 120 million pesos increase, the Presidential Security Group, Anti-Money Laundering Council, and Department of Information and Communications Technology all receive higher allocations. In total, 4.9 billion pesos is set aside for intelligence money across all agencies, while 4.3 billion pesos is allocated for confidential funds. In other news, according to the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH, at least 16 roads are still impassable and 15 more have limited access as a result of the damage caused by Typhoon Egay. Luzon's impacted roadways will suffer damage from landslides, flooding, and pavement collapse. According to the most recent estimate, the DPWH said that the cost of the infrastructure damage is now 7.051 billion pesos. Meantime, the Commission on Audit or COA criticized the Bureau of Corrections providing inadequate and unhealthy meals to the new Bilibid Prison and Correctional Institution for women detainees. COA added that the meals provided to inmates were not compliant with the Food Subsistence Agreement. In some cases, the COA's breakdown of meals provided to the detainees showed inmates were only given bread and coffee for breakfast and neglected to deliver precise serving amounts of rice, with which they were supposed to be given a typical meal according to the agreed-upon menu. Meantime, the Bucor responded by stating that an investigation is being conducted. For weather updates, areas of Luzon will still experience cloudy skies and rain on Friday due to the Habagat or southwest monsoon. Occasional rains may be present in Pangasinan, Zambales, and Bataan, while Cordillera Administrative Region, Batanes, Babuyan Islands, Occidental Mindoro, and the rest of Ilocos Region and Central Luzon may experience cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. And partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms are anticipated over Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Coming up next on Newsforce. Senator Jinggoy Estrada pushes 20% travel tax discount for senior citizens. DBM says proposed 2024 budget focuses on food sufficiency and lowering transport costs. DTI reminds public on price freeze of essential goods during calamities and warns sellers to avoid overpricing. Stay tuned for more stories and reports when Newsforce returns. Senator Jinggoy Estrada seeks to add 20% discount on travel taxes of senior citizens. Here's a full report. Senator Jinggoy Estrada stated that providing senior citizens with the 20% discount on travel taxes will allow them to travel to places including foreign countries. In line with this proposal, Senator Estrada filed Senate Bill number 2379 to grant senior citizens a 20% discount on travel taxes to recognize the contributions of senior citizens by granting them additional benefits and special privileges. Estrada believed that once enacted into law, the proposed bill would not only provide financial benefits to senior citizens during their leisure travels across the country, but also create opportunities for social interactions and experiences. The senator emphasized that encouraging travel among senior citizens can lead to enhanced mental stimulation, improve emotional health, and increase participation in national development activities. For Golden Nation Network, this is Daniza Lopez. Separately, Senator Bongo urged the Senate to prioritize a flood control program of the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, in the Senate inquiry set for next week. This comes after the continued severe flooding in the country, especially in Metro Manila, which brought inconvenience to commuters, motorists, and residents. Gov't stated that the DPWH should prioritize the places that badly needs flood control and the clogging of drainage. Further, Gov't see eye to eye with the flood control management to effectively address the flood in the city and provinces. The Department of Budget and Management revealed its plans to enhance the public's purchasing power through the proposed 2024 national budget. Here's a full story. According to the Department of Budget and Management, or DBM, the proposed 2024 budget aims to lessen the impact of rising fuel prices and recent calamities on the economy and citizens. The focus of the budget is on addressing food sufficiency to stabilize prices and reducing logistics and transport costs to ease the burden on consumers. DBM principal economist Joselito Basilio stated that the proposed budget targets food sufficiency as the first priority, followed by efforts to reduce logistics and transport costs. To achieve the goal of food sufficiency, Basilio mentioned that there will be increased funding allocated for agriculture and agrarian reform to enhance food production and distribution. Meanwhile, the government's efforts to reduce logistics and transport costs are set in railway projects and other transport system initiatives which fall under the Department of Transportation and the Department of Public Works and Highways. Basilio emphasized that social protection programs remain in place to support sectors impacted by inflation. He pointed out that fisher folks and farmers have experienced the effects of inflation during the pandemic, where the government implemented livelihood programs to help them recover. For Golden Nation Network, this is Daniza Lopez. To ensure food security and proper nutrition of Filipinos, the Philippine Development Plan for 2023 to 2028 will address various challenges and opportunities of the country's nutrition situation. Jade Buoy fills us in with the details.
As part of the Ambition Natin 2040 of the National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA's initiative on securing the nutritional needs of Filipinos, the Philippine Development Plan or PDP for 2023 to 2028 was created. The PDP will address different challenges encountered and opportunities in the food security and nutrition status of the country. In line with this, the plan is crafted with outcomes, strategies, targets, and legislative agenda that seeks to ensure proper nutrition and accessible food sufficiency for all Filipinos. However, persistent problems on food and nutrition such as hunger are still experienced by 9.8% or 2.7 million people in the country. From this, the Philippine government also addressed the Filipinos' desire for a stable lifestyle wherein there is a security of being a self-sufficient individual while providing their family's needs and wants. For Golden Nation Network, this is Jade Buhoy.
The Department of Trade and Industry or DTI warns consumers to not fall victim to overpricing of during times of calamities and disasters. They also reminded the public on price freeze of essential goods such as bread, canned goods, hygiene essentials, fish, vegetables, and water among other areas that were declared under the state of calamity in accordance with the Republic Act 7581 or the Price Act. DTI further encouraged everyone to check the list of the prices of essential goods on their official website and page. Meantime, the Department of Agriculture or DA reported that the damage caused by Typhoon Egay rose to 4.47 billion pesos. According to DA, as of August 3, more than 170,000 farmers and fishermen were affected by the calamity. With this, almost 200,000 hectares from Cordillera Administrative Region, Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and other parts of Visayas was severely affected. On the other hand, a total of more than 200 million pesos allotted fund from DA will be given to farmers to aid their needs like seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and other farming necessities. All 67 people on a passenger boat that was in distress off the coast of Polillo, Quezon had been rescued last Thursday, August 3, 2023. According to the Philippine Coast Guard or PCG, the 33.8 gross tonnage motorboat Gov't Express 3 Patnanungan Port in Barangay Macnit, Polillo at 10 a.m. and had a passenger load of 60 people, 7 crew members, and a cargo of 15 styrofoam boxes filled with a variety of fish on its way to Realtown, Quezon Province. PCG Station Northern Quezon claimed that prior to their departure from port in good weather, the passengers were given sufficient life vests. The 60 passengers and 7 crew members were confirmed by the PCG to be secured and in good condition. Up next on Newsforce. Pasay City LGU arrests suspect of killing due to bullying. UN-FAO Philippines issues warning against scammers using their agency for fraudulent schemes. Philippines and U.S. carry out joint humanitarian and disaster response initiatives for recent typhoon victims. Stay tuned for more stories and reports when Newsforce returns. The Pasay City local government unit arrested a suspect due to shooting a victim on July 31 this year. Based on the police report, the incident was caused by persistent bullying of victim whenever the suspects stay on their street. Following this incident, another one of the three suspects, aged 51, surrendered to Mayor Emmy Rubiano yesterday, August 3. On the other hand, the other suspect is still at large, wherein Pasay City Chief of Police Colonel Froilan Uy expressed commitment in clearing the case. To resolve the fraudulent schemes encountered by the public, the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations has warned scammers to refrain from using their agency. Here's Jade Boy for the full details.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, or FAO, warned the public over the fraudulent schemes purporting to be issued by or misrepresenting the agency and its officials or partners through the use of their logo and name. According to FAO, the scammers aims to illegally obtain fees as payments or investment from victims that are usually farmers and fisher folks in rural areas of Mindanao and Visayas regions. The said scheme promises victims to become eligible beneficiaries of FAO projects to provide them with large paybacks, interest-free loans, vehicles, jobs, and livestock. With this, FAO reminded the public that their agency does not require charging fees from beneficiaries at any stage of its project implementation, procurement, or recruitment process, wherein FAO will not also ask on information relating to bank account details. Further, everyone is urged to report on their official email in case of suspicious schemes using their agency. For Golden Nation Network, this is Jade Buhoy.
Philippine government through the Department of Health or DOH Ilocos Region reminded the public to be cautious of their health, especially that water-borne diseases are prone in this rainy season. This comes after the increase of Leptospirosis cases to a total of 45 patients with 9 deaths from January 1 until July 22 this year, as recorded by the Regional Epidemiology Surveillance Unit, while almost 2,000 cases from dengue were recorded with 12 deaths. Regional Director Paula Sidionco said that their regional public health facilities are prepared to address public health and emergency needs. Moreover, Sidionco reminds the public to immediately see a doctor when common symptoms of leptospirosis like fever, muscle pain, shivers, yellowing of the skin, spreading of eyes, head, and body ache is observed. The Philippines and the United States conducted a combined humanitarian and disaster response efforts recently for families affected by recent typhoons. Defense Secretary and NDRRMC Chairperson Gilberto Teodoro Jr. went to Lalo Airport in Cagayan, one of the locations specified in the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, to observe the cooperative relief efforts being carried out by Philippine and U.S. troops in following Typhoon Egay and Falcon. To help those displaced by recent typhoons, 1 V-22 Osprey and 2 CH-53C Stallions delivered 1,200 food packs and 56 solar panels to the islands of Fuga and Calayan. And here's a recap of today's headlines.
Here are today's headlines. DOH reports leptospirosis cases spiked by 42%. SWS shows hunger rate in the Philippines rises. DTI reminds public on price freeze of essential goods during calamities and warns sellers to avoid overpricing. Agricultural damage of Typhoon Egay rise to 4.47 billion pesos. UN-FAO Philippines issues warning against scammers using their agency for fraudulent schemes. Philippine government warns public against waterborne diseases in Ilocos Region. Fair and balanced news. Comprehensive reports that will take you to the heart of the action. This is Newsforce.
And those were the top stories of the day. Stay updated on the day's biggest stories and get updates on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Golden Nation Network. I'm Daniza Lopez, and this is Newsforce.